Welcome back to the podcast. This week, we're looking at, have you left it too late to become a professional photographer, both in your age and also the year that we're in, which is 2026. So if you find it this much later and photography is extinct, we were wrong. Do you need a studio? The costs of running one, the lifestyle of having one, and the whole logistics of getting into having a studio, which can seem quite daunting, I think, when you don't have one, but actually we've both had studios and it's okay. And the creative process in terms of making money from it, which is really what we're all here for. So I think this week we're pretty much covering everything. We've got a bit of philosophy and lifestyle, a bit of business, and a bit of creativity. There's something there for everybody. I'm joined once again by Rob.
Howdy.
And I guess we're going to dive straight into this. So Rob, how old are you today?
I'm currently 52 years of age.
Super. I'm currently 39, and I'm saying 39 as many times as I can because that's changing very shortly.
Equally same.
Yeah.
Our birthdays are literally days apart, if I remember correctly.
They are, yes. I think maybe often in the same week, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm 27th of March.
Yeah, I'm not putting birth dates out there, but yeah, within a week.
Oh, well, there we go. So someone's going to have stolen my bank account.
Yeah. So we're very... What's our age? Why can't I do this in my head? What's our age gap?
You're 39?
Yes.
13 years.
13-year age gap. So just over a decade in difference, but we both started photography around the same time.
No, you were a good few years in before.
But on the grand scheme of things, it was a similar era of photography.
I bought my first camera in 2013.
Oh, okay, no, a little bit more of a gap than I thought. Yeah, so I bought mine in 2010 or 2009.
Yeah, I mean, you were like, when I literally bought my first camera, you were almost like the benchmark locally.
Hey, but we do live in Leicester.
Yes, I mean, fairness, fishes and ponds, but equally remains true.
So how old were you? Again, I'm useless at maths in my head. How old were you when you got that camera?
Oh, that was my 40th birthday present to myself.
40th birthday present. Oh, okay, so you're my age.
Almost,
when you started, yeah. So 40. That's not a bad age to start, I suppose. When I was younger, 40 seemed really old, but it suddenly seems very...
Mate, wait till you get into your 50s.
So... Starting at 40, did you get a camera for fun or did you get a camera because it was going to be your career?
For fun. And importantly, a birthday gift because I was recently single. Nobody was going to buy me anything nice. I've always been a tech nerd, so I bought myself a bit of tech.
And what was your, I don't know, what was the interest in photography? Why did you buy the bit of tech, I suppose, rather than speakers, for example?
Well, I have many speakers.
I bet you do, yeah.
What I didn't have was a camera, and I'd been working as a graphic designer for a while, and always editing other people's pictures. And I thought, well, it might be nice to take some on my own.
Yeah.
And then literally nothing more beyond that.
What were you photographing? When you first got your camera, what was the first, 6 months of photography for you?
That was dead easy. I mean, I cut my teeth as a music photographer. So I had some friends of mine who were actual musicians. And obviously I thought, well, what do I do with this? I mean, I was a hermit prior to that. I mean, I almost never left the house. I was like, just stepped off the bus completely. And then I thought, well, let's get back in the world. Oh, my friend's playing at this local bar down the road. I guess I'm going to go to the gig and take a few pictures and nothing more than that. And then I kind of got bitten by the bug, going out and socialising and meeting humans again.
It's always nice.
That was kind of a fun thing. And then it just all by accident kind of snowballed. People were like, oh, I saw the pictures you did at Temple of Lies. And what do you charge for a gig? I'm like, I'll charge. I don't know.
Yeah, money.
Like, massive imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I think that's quite a common way into it, really, isn't it? Mine was very different, actually. I was doing music, documentary, and a bit of very natural portraiture when I first started. And I got my camera. There wasn't really... I mean, I wanted to be a photographer. I didn't really know what that meant, that's for sure. And you can tell by the things I started photographing straight away, I definitely didn't have any business sense. But yeah, there's definitely no real plan, just got into it. And I was much younger than you. I'd have been 24.
Yeah.
24.
Weep up.
I was, that's what I was doing. Started in Cardiff, moved over to Leicester, brief stint in London, decided that was going to shorten my life considerably, back to Leicester. Settled down.
See, I've always found that interesting. I mean, just getting slightly off topic, how people end up in Leicester.
I know.
Now, my route was very simple. My dad built the M1. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Probably not all on his own, but that wasn't how it was told to me when I was a kid. So, of course, we were building the Leicester stretch, and that's why we ended up in Leicester when we came over from Ireland. But other people's, like, I mean, you moved from Cardiff, quite a nice city, I think.
Well, I grew up in Leicester.
Ah, right, okay.
I grew up between Blaby, Whetstone, Saffron Lane, those sorts of areas. But I left as soon as I was 18 and went to Cardiff to Shanghai, Hong Kong, Paris, London, back to Cardiff, and then Leicester, London, and then settled Leicester. And then, ended up here. Don't know how my family ended up. Well, my mum's side of the family have always been in Leicester for generations, like going back to like the 1500s. But my dad came from Spain.
Yeah.
I remember asking, I was like, why? Why Leicester? Anywhere in the world you could have gone to and you went to Leicester. Who knows?
Especially for a Spaniard, it's like...
Oh, the food here is awful. Like, it's just, it's not the same. I mean, he did retire back to Spain, to be fair. I think as soon as he could. So leaving it late in terms of age. So I work with a lot of photographers. We have over at Agent at Large, where I am both the executive producer and an agent there, and also represented there, which is how I initially got in with them. I look after a lot of the young talent, and you'd assume that you have to be young talent to get into photography. You'd assume, if you look at it from a very traditional standpoint, the path in is you come in, you're a runner, you sweep the floors and you make the coffee and you carry stuff. Then you become an assistant, probably like a second or third assistant. Then you become a second assistant. Then you become first assistant, lighting assistant. Maybe then a bit of digitech work when you're a bit more older and more trustworthy. And then eventually you make it as a photographer. However, I would say that path is very much dead.
I think so. I mean, certainly based on your previous guest, Jack, who's like straight out of college, first year pro.
Yep, Jack's like that. I mean, other ones we've worked with haven't been that way, but then Emily, she's like that. Ruben, he's like that. I mean, Ruben, bless his heart, we got a few inquiries from him recently. I asked him if he was free. He thought I wanted him to be an assistant for me. I was like, no, mate, the campaign's for you. Like, get on it. He's a really talented photographer. I mean, at his age, it wouldn't have even occurred to me that my work would ever be that good at any point, and he's already that good. Like these people, the people on the futures are Agent at Large. I nearly used my old agent's name then. An Agent at Large, incredible. But on the other side of it, a lot of the photographers in their 50s. And a lot of them have done it all their life, but not all of them. Some of them are very late to the party. And then those who have done it all their lives, the thing they're shooting today, they might have only been doing for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
When I shot my first absolutely behemoth paycheck job, I'd only been doing that style of work for 6 months. Yeah, I knew how. I mean, but photography's easy.
Yeah, the mechanics of it.
Yeah, like the actual, it's not like learning to paint. Like that's actual skill.
Yeah.
Learning to use a camera, you've got 3 settings and a light. I know there's a lot of buttons on a camera, but there's only aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and then light. That's all you need to understand it. You can learn it in an afternoon.
Yeah.
If you're spending more than an afternoon learning how a camera works, you're learning the wrong thing. That you're focusing on something which doesn't exist or doesn't matter or isn't. It's slightly worse with video because you've got frame rates, shutter angle, and dual native ISOs.
Yeah, but I mean, again, for the most part, you've got even less to worry about because your frame rate's locked to your shutter angle.
That's true.
It's like 25 frames per second done, 180 degrees. That's one less thing. So you've literally got ISO and aperture, and that's it.
And then if like me, you're an artificial lighting photographer, ISO is 100 and your shutter speed's 125th.
Yeah, and it's how much light do we need to make the exposure correct at
exactly.
that? So.
What depth of field do I want? That's my aperture. And therefore, how much do I need to turn the light up? That is it. There's not much to it. So in terms of age, we've had shoots which we've produced for people we don't represent who are in their 80s, and they just get more assistance because they need people to carry stuff and move stuff and help them out more. From a physical point of view, sometimes from a technological point of view as well. We had one who was, they were great with the subject and all the rest of it, but they couldn't check focus because their eyesight wasn't there anymore. Doesn't mean they're not a great photographer. They just can't see on the tiny little screen. They need to see the big print at the end, but they understand the pose, the relationship with the subject, the light, and all the rest of it. I think you could start photography today at your age and have a professional career in 12 months. Mm-hmm. I think you could start at 70 and have a professional career in 12 months. I don't think photography discriminates in that way.
No, I don't think it's not one of these things. It's not like you're hiring a brickie where you need to have a certain level of sort of physical prowess to be able to do the job. I think all people are interested in is, for the most part, your work.
I agree. It's different for assisting, So I was speaking to one of our young people and I was like, oh, I need two. I don't know how it came up in comment. I was like, oh, I need two more assistants for this job. And they're like, I can assist. I just went, with the greatest respect, I don't think you can for this particular thing. And she turned around and went, I can I can deadlift 75 kilos for 10 reps. I was like, oh, okay, you're in. You can do it. Like, I just didn't realize you actually, I do a lot of weight training. I was like, you can come and assist with us then. Because on this particular job, we had to get the kit up 5 flights of stairs to a studio. And I've had assistants before who can't pick up a light stand with the light on it, which to be fair, it's a fair chunk of weight. Like, if you try and pick up that video like there.
And quite top heavy as well.
It's top heavy, got a lot of stability. You're probably lifting, 40 kilograms up. You do need a reasonable amount of strength to do that. But to be a photographer, you don't need any physical strength to do most jobs. You just get assistance. If I was out doing documentary work at my age, I wouldn't be carrying the bag.
No. Of course not.
I'd have somebody carrying the bag. I'd just take a camera and a lens out.
Yeah.
I would not be.
Go full artist.
If I was doing landscape photography today, I would turn up in my car with a digi and an assistant. I would not be walking up that mountain. I mean, I'd walk if I had to, but I wouldn't carry the stuff. That's the benefit of being the photographer. You don't have to carry all your own stuff. It's
so it's like having the whole crew to do the pre-light for 2 days. You turn up, press one button, and it's your shot.
Brilliant. That's how it should be. Yeah. Exactly as it should be. So I don't think there's an age thing. Now, in terms of the year we're at, I was coming into YouTube and said, oh, I've left it too late to start a YouTube channel. When I started my YouTube channel, I was like, oh, you've left it too late. You can't start a YouTube channel now. It's over. The glory days are over. I've got a YouTube business.
I strongly disagree on that.
Yeah. I've got a YouTube business. My YouTube business makes more than any day job I've ever had. My YouTube business makes more than any day job anybody I know currently has.
Yeah, we discussed this, boys. It's a nice living.
It's a lovely living. I don't have to be a photographer anymore. I don't have to be an agent. I don't have to be a producer. I don't have to run a production company. I don't have to have a jewelry business. I could just do YouTube. But photography, everyone's like, you've missed the heyday. The heyday's over. And the heyday is over. It is not the 1980s. There's not a £2,000 cocaine budget on every shoot. There's not, flights going in and out and everywhere, massive crews and all the rest of it, and doing one shot and going for lunch and getting absolutely sloshed. That is gone. That's finished. But still pretty good living.
Yeah, and equally, I think we were talking about it earlier. The elitism has gone with that as well. You haven't just got one or two or three names taking all of the cheddar anymore. It's very much become the playing field has been somewhat leveled.
It has, and also there are more photo shoots today in terms of going jobs available. There's more today than there's ever been before.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, there's not as many shoots. There's not as many jobs. There's so many more jobs. So many more jobs. Yeah, newspapers are dead and press photography's dead. But then social media,
huge.
Do you remember? I won't name the brand. There was a job which involved a crisp and some cheese that we did 2 shots for a social media campaign.
I do remember, yes.
I made £35,000 doing 2 photographs. Granted, it nearly mentally broke me because the client was such a difficult person. But for social media jobs, you could literally, I've got 2 friends who make over £150,000 a year, which is the equivalent in the US of making $320,000 a year, not just an exchange rate, but cost of living. $320,000 a year. And they just do small little social shoots. They're doing 3 or 4 a day.
Yeah, it's busy.
They are smashing it. They're like, oh, should I become a commercial photographer? I was like, you might take a bit of a hit. Like, as a commercial photographer, you want to be making, in the UK, probably 150 grand a year profit as a, jobbing commercial photographer. If you suddenly change from that to this, it'd be years till you got back to that level. Years. And I guess the equivalent in the States, again, is probably, 275?
Yeah.
For 150, right there with exchange rate and cost of living. You take into account tax differences, medical
cost of living is a funny thing because it's like $12 for a box of eggs now in America.
Yeah, every time I say that, everyone tells me, no, it's not. So I think it's dependent on state.
Yeah, quite possibly.
When you talk about America as a British person, it's the equivalent of an American talking about the entirety of Europe in terms of size and scope.
Well, it's like 52 Great Britons in one landmass.
And I think one of the big, it's a tangent here, one of the big misunderstandings, people think that English people and American people are similar. And it's because we speak the same language. Culturally, we're closer to French people than American people.
Yeah.
But it's a really weird thing. And it's a very, different politics, different belief systems. And we have the same religions in both countries, but we do them very differently.
Yeah.
It's a very different thing. We're like, our Christian religions here are more similar to how the French do it than the Americans. It's so bizarre. Whenever I'm speaking to Americans in one-to-ones, they're like, oh, cool. I'm not far from New York. It's just a 2-hour flight. In the UK, that is like going on a long haul journey.
Well, that would get you to Italy.
I know, it's like
by comparison. So.
But again, and that's culturally how different America is. Top to bottom, it's a different place.
Oh yeah, yes.
Left to right, it's a different place, or left centre, right? And the UK is pretty much the same top to bottom. Like, we're different, but not to the extent that
the accent changes, but it's all more or less similar.
I'd actually say that our accents change more dramatically in the UK for the distance
per mile.
I mean, you can go 1 hour out of Leicester and not be able to understand somebody.
Bub.
Yeah. If English isn't your native language, you could go 1 hour in any direction from my city and not understand a word anybody's saying.
It's not so bad when you go south, it's when you go north.
When you go north, yeah. North or west.
Yes.
You hit Birmingham, then Wales. And no non-native English speaker would have a chance. It's so different. But the heyday's over. Yeah, if I was around in the 80s, I would probably be a multimillionaire at the moment. I think that's probably safe to say. Or dead. I'd probably be dead. I'd have lost my sense of smell a lot sooner than I did, and my nose would have fallen out. I'd have had a heart attack, probably like 3 or 4 affairs that had made the tabloids.
Oh, the tabloids, yeah.
It is a different. I mean, I'm sometimes go, oh, if I'd have just been around then, I'd be retired by now, and that heyday, that big money time. My agent was around during those years. God, is his health paying for it?
Yeah, that's a check that's going to have to be cashed in at some point.
It's not going to go well. Yeah, and it's funny. I go out a lot in London with the old time photographers and advertisers, or they have an appetite that I don't. It's just, I go out for lunch and I take 2 days off afterwards. They're back in the office at 7 a.m. It's a different lifestyle. It's not. I think I'd have enjoyed it in some ways, but died or failed in others. It's not the same industry that it was in the 80s and 90s. Even in the early noughties, it's not the same industry, but it's still a damn good industry.
Yeah. I mean, like so many. I mean, fashion isn't the same as it was.
No, of course not. But then you can still make more being a photographer today than you can being a doctor, which ethically I disagree with. But whilst I'm being paid that, I'm happy.
But that's kind of always the case. It's like, why do footballers get paid so much? It's not what you do, it's what you worth to other people and how much money you can generate for other people.
Yeah, so. It's exactly that. It's a wrong world, but it is the world we're in. Which brings us to studios, as we're currently sat in one right now. I get asked a lot, do I need a studio to be a photographer? And my answer to everybody is yes, you do. You absolutely need a studio. If you're a landscape photographer, street photographer, fine art, you need a studio. However, it doesn't have to look like this. Your studio can be your spare room, but you need a place to work. You need a place to edit. You need a place to be creative. You need a place to sketch. You need a place to do your accounts. When I first started, worked from my bedroom. Would not recommend that. You have an office in your room, don't you?
My box room is now my office and study.
And working there compared to working anywhere else in the house is different, isn't it?
I mean, again, because it's a clearly defined border. Like, you walk through that door and it's work time.
Exactly.
Even though it's literally adjacent to my bedroom, but it's an important difference. It's like, you go in there, there's no fun to be had in there. It's work.
And I think that is how it should be. Now, having a studio like this, Nick, you had my old studio.
I literally inherited in a bizarre way your old studio.
Yes, you took that old studio on. Was it better having a studio?
It was better from the point of view of personal work, yes.
Yes.
And that was kind of the big thing where you could just like, oh, I fancy trying this, doing that, doing the other. Then, as opposed to having the barrier of, oh, I've got to go and find a place, hire it, I've got to bring all gear there. Just having everything there, just set up, so a moment's win, because like, oh, let's just try something new today. From that point of view, it's brilliant.
Would you get a studio again?
Right now, no. Again, mainly because I've moved myself away from sort of still photography. Not away from it, but I've kind of pushed myself more down the moving pictures route.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need a studio for that.
Not for the sort of stuff you do, no.
No.
So I, for example, could lose this studio today and still make the same amount of money that I currently do.
Yes.
But like you say, the personal work.
I think that's where it would impact you quite heavily.
So I've done 2 test shoots this year. Actually, one was on location. I've done 1 test shoot here this year. And being able to have my studio, my equipment stored and all the rest of it is good. Now, I actually have started using, because I upgraded my equipment in the studio to much better equipment. I started using said equipment more on commercial jobs and transporting it down rather than using rental houses. We have made, I don't know, probably like an extra 25,000 last year doing that. I think probably at a guess, maybe 30,000. That's quite useful. But it's not enough to justify the cost of the studio and the maintenance and the upkeep and having to get cleaners in and having to have security and have to have insurance and decorate the place and make it feel nice. But I can't work from home. And from a purely ignore the fact that I'm on YouTube and I have a YouTube channel. Ignore that. That has nothing to do with this decision. I can't work from home. I have to commute to work. And I need that commute, which sounds stupid because everyone hates commuting. I mean, I don't commute at rush hour, which makes it a bit nicer. And often I'm in my little city car with the top down. But I commute to work with my dog. I go for a dog walk, which is part of my creative process. I come to work, I sit down, and it is silent in here. Absolutely silent. It's me and the dog, and we just get on with work. If I work from home, my partner's there. And I'll have to, she has an office upstairs. I don't have an office at home because obviously it'd be ridiculous having this here as well. But if she's in the kitchen and I'm working from the kitchen, which is the only really place there's a table for me to work from, Scott, can you pass the milk? Scott, can you go and do this? Oh, can you just go and excuse me, I'll just pop in. And every time there's an interruption, I lose my train of thought.
Yeah. And
it's not that she's being unreasonable to ask me to pass the milk that's right next to me, but I can't work like that. I can't be the person. As soon as I'm interrupted, my entire state of flow is gone. I cannot be interrupted. I must be left to work in silence. I don't answer phone calls coming through if I'm working. I don't answer emails coming through if I'm working. If I'm working, I'm working. Yeah. And I'm on that task until it's done. And the only way that I can have a jewelry business, a YouTube channel, an education platform, a successful commercial photography business or, work. What else do we do? We've got the agency. I represent photographers. I'm a producer. I'm taking over a production company at the moment. The only way I can do all of that is by going, everyone fuck off, I'm working. And working in a way that is extremely efficient in terms of going, right, for the next 25 minutes, I'm doing these 3 budgets. If I start picking up every phone call that comes through whilst doing that, that doesn't then become an hour job. It becomes a 3-hour job because I have to keep starting from scratch and I have to keep going, oh, where was I?
And retract your train of thought where you were.
And then you always make a mistake as well. There's always a mistake in there somewhere because you've got distracted, you forgot to do that, and then you've done this, and then it's just, you have to have a place where you can work. Now, how you like to work, some people like to work in cafes. I can't think of anything worse. But if that's your studio, then the local cafe is your studio where you get the work done. And I just think it's so important to have those rules for you to make it work for you. However, when my partner's working, she writes. When she's writing, I can't even be in the house. It's not even like I'll be upstairs. I can't even be in the house because she can't work if I'm in the house. And for any logical oh, can we do this? Can we? Logically, you go, no. Of course he can be in there. He can be on the 3rd floor of the house. You can be on the ground floor. You'd never even hear it. But she knows I'm there. And because she knows I'm there, she can't do the writing. And we're both like, yeah, that makes no logical sense at all. Neither does mine.
No, but then equally, I mean, despite the fact you do have a very successful YouTube channel, most people don't know you're painfully camera shy. And you can only do that if you're here on your own. If there's another person here, that makes a big difference.
So someone was like, why'd you have the headphones on? And I was like, well, the headphones they act as two things, the headphones do in the podcast. One is we can monitor the audio, because without this, we're just assuming it's like, what if a cable goes dodgy? This way we know, like, if this cable like crackles, I'm like, oh, hang on, we've got a crackle, let's swap cables.
You can see the waveform, but is it a crackle, is it hiss, what is it? You don't know.
Exactly. The other one is, if I take these headphones off and start talking, I'm now just talking in a room, and I don't know if you feel the same if you take your headphones off, this to me feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This doesn't. This is now, the audio is so intense in my ears that I'm not worried about the fact that I'm on camera. But yeah, I can't make YouTube videos if people are here. Like, not a chance. I can do educational videos if people are here explaining how to do things, but not the entertaining YouTube stuff. So that is one. And again, I could do my YouTube channel from home.
Yep.
If everyone left the house. And, you know, I do work from home still. So when my partner's working away, which she does regularly, I work from the house. I don't come into the studio on those days. So I'll regularly be not here, but working from home. But it has to be in an empty house with just the cat and dog.
Yeah. And again, you don't have a distraction because you're in the house on your own.
Exactly. I have to be there by myself. I can't work around people. I can do some work around people. Like when you're in here now after this episode, you'll be editing. I will go and do some tasks that I can do whilst other people are in the room.
Yeah.
But then I can't start writing, you know, my next creative shoots sort of ideas down, because if you interrupt me and go, oh, Scott, can you check this? I've lost all that momentum.
Yeah.
That has to be done by myself. So I think everyone needs a studio. What that studio looks like is different. Having a studio like this, my particular studio, is a luxury item. It doesn't make me any money. I don't rent it out, even though I keep telling people I do. Whenever anyone asks, I go, no, it's fully booked, mate. It's
you do keep toying with the idea, but
I don't, like, logically, I should rent this out. I could get like 500 to 800 a day, go rent my Broncola kit out and all the rest of it and make a bit of extra cash. I don't want to deal with people.
Yeah.
There's not enough money for me to deal with people. I just can't. And there's so many cheap studios in Leicester. You can get a studio in Leicester for 200 quid a day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not letting someone come in here for 200 quid a day. It's just, there's too much disruption for the money. So there's a benefit to this, though. The benefit is I can do test shoots whenever I want to. I can have equipment in here and store it in here. If I took all of this kit home, I'd be in so much trouble. It's like, I'm just going to put my hazy in the kitchen. Don't mind me.
I mean, as you know, I had to exit what was your old studio at like no minute's notice.
Yes, because the actual owners of it went bust.
Because the owners didn't pay their rent.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the classic phone call. I don't know if you've got anything expensive in here. I'm like, yes, all of it is quite expensive, as it turns out. And just having to empty it like overnight. I mean, my house, you can imagine the chaos.
Oh, it'd just be like, chuck it in the car.
And unlike yourself, I don't have 3 floors. I have like, a 3-bed mid-terrace.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a large house with no storage. It's the weirdest thing. There's nowhere to put anything. There's just no storage. Everything, like, I don't know who designed it, but it's badly designed. It's an old house, though. I don't suppose they expected kleptomaniacs to be moving in there.
No, but there is for sure a value of having a big enough space. This is a lovely space, let's be honest, and having enough space to put everything tidy. Because I know you're very tidy freak, and you're a big fan of knolling.
I love knolling. And so what's really funny, my partner doesn't knoll.
Oh, imagine that drives you up the wall.
But she doesn't see her stuff as mess. And I'm just like, why don't we just put it all at right angles? She's like, well, it's still all there, isn't it? I was like, yeah, but it's all at right angles now. That's better.
Yeah.
Let's just knoll it. And then she'll find me knolling stuff. She's like, and she's right in saying this. She's like, Scott, you're not tidying up. You're just knolling. Just tidy it up. I'm like, no, just knoll it. It's fine. Don't
in
have
your
to
mind,
tidy
you
it
are
up.
tidying because now it appears tidier because it is all beautifully knolled.
Everything's nicely at right angles as it should be. But yeah, apparently that's not tidying. That's just reorganizing chaos. So I think studios are very important. It's a lot of hassle having this studio. There's a lot of time and money that goes into it that I never see a return on. But I can't imagine not having it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had that forced upon me. I mean, and again, for context, it happened during the end of the world.
Yes.
Where we weren't even allowed to be in studios. I remember coming to work for you and I was at the other end with my own computer because we couldn't even use yours. And
correct.
We were wearing masks. We were like, 20 feet apart and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I had to so we started shooting really early after lockdown because I live with a stylist, which is very convenient.
Super useful.
we did make hay while the sun shone then. So I had to come in here like something nuts, like either 2 days or 4 days early to set everything up, make sure, and then tape all the floor up, get bottled water for you, disinfect the bottles,
Yeah.
and then leave it for so many days, and then come back in and do the shoots. And it's like if you wanted to go to the toilet, we all had to go to the office whilst you walked past, and there's a whole load of stuff. We were shooting TV at home as well. We'd got like a director on the driveway with like live feeds going out the window into their car, and there was a lot of that going on at that point. But you know,
so I mean, there was a couple of years it wouldn't have made sense to have had one. It was just a drain on funds.
I mean, during COVID, this place here just literally, I remember getting given the £10,000 grant, and it just came in and it went out.
You see, I didn't get that. I thought I'd written sound, but no. Well, you only pay rent, you don't pay rates. I'm like, and?
Yeah, you got to pay your business rates.
Yeah. So that was not my particular deal at the time. So as you well know, so
yes,
you're very familiar with that particular contract.
No, I had a different contract. I had a very good, very favourable contract there. So yeah. Studios are expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I do miss having that space again. But again, I mean, obviously now I live alone. That space has come back in that is, you know, again, clear divide. I mean, you step through that tiny little office door, it's time to work. It's time to go. Time to do stuff.
I do think I think it's the way to go. It's definitely the way to go. Have a workspace. I mean, I even have a work laptop and a non-work laptop, which again is a bit extra, but I don't want emails coming through if I'm on a laptop not doing work and then people are pestering me.
Yeah.
I used to have a work phone and a non-work phone, but everyone's just phoning everything. It was a nightmare. So I just have a phone now. But I turn it off. If I'm at home and the kids are with me, my partner's with me, turn my phone off. I'm gonna sneeze, I think. No, I'm good. Maybe not. I don't know. Am I gonna sneeze? No, I'm good. Yeah, it's kind of floating around there. So this is something which I find very interesting to talk about. This is the creative process and making money from it. Every time I meet with a photographer, they're like, oh, I need to make my work more commercial. Or every time somebody talks about commercial photography, they have, like, if you think about commercial drinks photography and you picture it in your head, I already know what you're thinking about. I know that shot you're thinking about. And the problem is, that's not what commercial photography is. The joys of the very high-paying commercial world is that the weirder you are with your work, and even with your personality, the more money you're going to make. I don't want to see a perfectly executed photo that I've seen before. The amount of people who send me their portfolios with my agent hat on, and I open it and go, yep, they're nice, pretty pictures. Delete. I just get sent images of things I've seen before. Over and over and over again. And it's just, there's just nothing to make them stand out. And anybody, because it's just simple photography, can take a photograph. It's not a difficult skill to take a good photograph. What is a difficult skill and what will make you the money is having a point of view that differs from everyone else and a style of work that differs from everyone else. Now, it can be similar and it can't be too weird either. You can't go full on quasi weirdness where it's like something no one's ever seen before. There has to be some sort of stake in reality there. But you need to do something people aren't doing. And it just, anyone who's been to university, when you write your thesis in a science paper, I don't know about arts papers, but in a science paper, you have to do a piece of research that is original, but is based off previous research. So it can't just be a random idea, which is quasi-research. It has to be like, cool, so somebody's tested out what happens if you make a cyclist spin their legs faster. I'm going to see what happens if you make a non-cyclist spin their legs faster on a bike. Slight change. That's all you need. That's all you need. So you could do my bold and graphic style of work and go, well, we're going to do it bold and graphic, but really sensible. Really boringly sensible. Whereas mine's quite silly. Like, it doesn't have to be, there doesn't need to be something there where it's like, yeah, that's different. Because trying to stand out in the noise of photography is nearly impossible. So just doing the same thing as everyone else is never going to work. If your photos look like somebody else's, if your lighting setup is like someone else's, it's never going to work. And that's just like a basic thing. But you could have the same lighting as everyone else and the same camera settings if your image is different, if what you do in front of it is different. But ideally, change it all.
Yeah, and that's a personal thing. I mean, obviously, we spoke at length on this channel and others about what inspires you and what was the kind of catalyst for the style of work that you do.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And so my influences in photography are very heavily, it's very pop art influenced. It's very much Noeling influenced. We do like a good right angle. I am very influenced by Martin Parr, William Eggleston, and that sort of thing. And I think in my latest work, you can definitely see more of the Martin Parr coming out in it, with parts of the pop art styling and the aesthetic of the era. Maybe a bit less of the William Eggleston going on nowadays, especially in the color grading. I took a lot of my influence in color grading from William Eggleston, a lot of my influence in subject matter from Martin Parr, and my sort of the way I present it very much from pop art as a whole genre. And I think having those things and being able to call upon these different things is what makes it interesting. And the entire creative process is very important. And it harks back to having a studio. Like, if this studio is part of my creative process. The way that this studio looks, the fact that this A-cam here is set up knolled to the background, and all of that. So it's not just like, oh, let's just do this. It's done on purpose. It's an extension of the creativity. The furniture that's in here is an extension of the creativity.
The amount of plants.
The amount of plants is an extension of the creativity. The colour palette is, it's all part of it. The way the workbench is laid out, the tools are laid out, is all part of how I like my aesthetic to be. And I change my studio, I'd say, almost as often as I change my work in terms of how it's laid out and what it looks like. So some stuff, like the kitchen, is purely utilitarian at the moment, but we're going to change that soon. I want it to be a different style of kitchen that fits in with my work more, because I want it to all be one homogenous thing. Like the art, the place, the person should all fit in together. What I choose to wear clothing-wise fits in with what I do. The sort of, the let's have only black t-shirts, only white shirts fits in with what I do. It is all part of the aesthetic and the mentality of what I do, and then monetizing that is much easier because you go, this is who I am. Would you like it? It's like a natural progression of things.
Yeah.
And if you just fully live that life, it makes it much easier to do it well. It's very difficult to go, well, I think what I'm going to do is try and create work a bit like this person.
And dare I say, it's something we touched on in the previous episode. It's back to the word authenticity again.
Exactly. And this is exactly why AI is not taking our jobs, because it doesn't have it. It doesn't have authenticity. And it's the same in filmmaking, though. Like, you go and get a Quentin Tarantino film, you get a Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah.
He's not being anyone else, and he lives his entire life being Quentin Tarantino. He doesn't turn up to work and go, oh, today I'm Quentin Tarantino, better get this going. It's from waking up in the morning to going to bed. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about this. Like, it's my entire day. I wake up in the morning. I have a set routine that the entire day follows. And the sum of all of that is my work. And that's how photographers, for the most part, live. If they're creatives, not if they're... There's obviously different types of professionals. I work in a creative end of the photography scale. Yes, I sell my soul to the devil and sell it commercially, but it's creative work. Some people are technical photographers and they work in the technical realms. And, there's those people who fly over the railways in the UK and they've got a Phase 1 IQ 150 and they just photograph the tracks so it can be sent back to the maintenance team and they zoom in on the images and check it all. That's a technical photography job. You've then also got the functional ones, like, oh, we need an event photographing tonight or filming tonight. Yes, I can do that sort of thing. That's a different job in itself. There's lots of different jobs within photography, but I think if you want to be the creative and do all the rest of it, that's what you do. I mean, you create personal work all the time, don't you? In terms of film work. You don't go, oh, today I'm going to make a film that looks like a Spielberg. Today I'm going to make a film that you just go, this is what my taste is, and this is what I'm going to create.
Generally dark and gothic. But
dark and gothic, a bit of horror maybe.
Yeah.
But that's what you do. I wouldn't expect you to show me one of your films and it to be like a bright
Barbie film.
Yeah, that bright pink Barbie film. That'd be quite shocked.
Yeah, I'm not the guy for that.
Whereas you might find that I do something with a bright pink Barbie aesthetic.
Yeah, I've seen many pink works of yours.
Yeah, I love it. I love pink. I love a bit of pink. There's a
hot pink.
Beautiful. Hot pink, electric pink, all pinks. Bubblegum pink's my favourite pink. I do like pink. So I think there's a real disconnect, and especially if you're coming into photography through YouTube, where you think this is what photography is, and it's not. You'd be better off watching. I'm trying to think carefully who to name and who not to name here, because the person I always think of for this was potentially cancelled.
Yes.
But maybe Van Neistat would be a good example of somebody whose entire life is his art.
Well, he was one of the OGs, wasn't he?
This is his brother Casey.
Yeah.
Who's the big YouTuber. But in terms of art, if you look at Van Neistat, he's more the artist. His YouTube videos, his artwork, and his life are all the same. Look at William Eggleston. His life and his work is the same. Martin Parr, his life and his work are the same. And that's kind of what you want to go for if you want to get a lot of money from photography.
Yeah. And again, that's been kind of one of the big push, especially with the whole AI, the end doom. It's even now Instagram is prioritizing authentic content.
Yes. Because everyone's I was trying to find some information. I was buying some car tires. I must have watched 6 videos before I found one that wasn't AI.
Yeah.
I was like, no, not that one. No. And you click on it, it's like, oh, for God's sake, it's another. People will leave social media platforms because they don't want to be fed AI nonsense. I'll be scrolling Instagram, doom scrolling in an evening, because that's what I like to do before I go to bed, despite the fact I know it's the worst thing to possibly do before going to bed. Yeah. And I reckon most of the time, the reason I put my phone down and go to bed is because I've hit like 3 AI posts in a row. I'm like, oh,
yeah, done with this. Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm off. Done. Finished. No interest. So be authentic, be yourself, create the work you want to create, really. That's the...
Yeah, and don't be afraid to be yourself. I think that's the important thing. Don't feel like you have to be like X, Y, Z.
Oh, the amount of people who told me I couldn't do what I said I was going to do because it wasn't a thing. I don't say that anymore. They're like, oh, you're so lucky you got to... I was like,
it wasn't luck.
Yeah.
It's, there's a lot of graft and
yes.
belief in yourself, dare I say.
Well, and also I went against the advice of my agent, not my current one, a previous one that I had a few agents ago. They were like, you must not do that. It will ruin your career. Well, they don't get my commission anymore. That's it.
Oh,
That's for damn sure. And, even my previous agent, my last one was like, oh, you shouldn't do portraits. It won't work. It won't work. I directed a TVC last year with people in it.
And, it again, in terms of like being true to yourself and being authentic, portraiture has always been a passion of yours.
Always.
As long as I've known you.
Yep. Always been a passion of mine. I've spent more years doing portraits than I have still life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that from YouTube because it wasn't that era, but I spent more time shooting portraits than stuff that doesn't move.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, there we go. Right, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, that's a good place for it. So, yeah.
Superb. See you all later.
Ciao.
Right then. Do your magic. And then let's get these bad boys all...
Yes. 44 minutes. That's as Ron Burgundy was saying. Nice sharp broadcast.
That's probably a 40-minute podcast.
Yeah.
Hopefully what we can do is, whilst that's offloading, render that one out, start on these.
Yeah.
I'm going to
multitask like a bad man.
Yeah.
That's nice.